Everybody, welcome to our live today. So, today we are touching on the topic of that summer body that everybody is so often talking about, and how the way that we think about, waiting for that perfect summer body, wanting to have it before we let ourselves really enjoy the summer, can prevent us from doing the things we really want to do. So, as the weather gets warmer, some of us have very mixed feelings about exposing our bodies. And, we might love the idea of exposing our bodies to the sun and finally getting sun-kissed, but not so much exposing our bodies to all of the eyes out there. We may be drawn to, just the feeling of that sun on our skin, the smell of fresh cut grass and flowers, and the beautiful days on the lake or the beach or wherever you love to spend your sunny days, or taking friends up on hot tub dates or outdoor swimming pool invitations. And in most of these situations, we finally get to take all those layers off. So goodbye to our winter coats and boots and scarves and hats and sweatpants, which I spend way too much time in, by the way. But for some of us, the thought of wearing a bathing suit in public is really enough to deter us from enjoying these activities. And sure, it's fun to look for bathing suits online. I've been doing it, all those cute designs. But once we think about putting them on, or once we put them on, how many of us zoom right into our so-called imperfections and start thinking about, all the things we wish we could change. We wish we could change even everything from the size, the shape and appearance of our legs, our hips, our waists and butts and busts and arms, and on and on and on it goes. And then suddenly the thought of summer, which so many of us have been longing for while trying to survive months of endless rain, especially here in Vancouver, BC, Canada, that summer just seems like a distant memory, that desire to get out there and take all those layers off. And we find ourselves sometimes wishing we could just get back into those boots and coats or hide from the world, and just get back into those sweats. And we tend to imagine all those eyes on us, which of course we're certain are just waiting for us to come out so they can have something to do, meaning they'll finally get to use their precious summertime to scan our bodies for all of the things that are all wrong, right? That's what those eyes are out there to do, looking at our too big curves and our too tiny or too big busts, our bikini lines, our cellulite, our veins, all the list goes on and on. And if this isn't something that you think about, then I applaud you. Even knowing everything I know, it still gets me. It gets so many of us because it's unbelievably hard to get there when we're always surrounded by messages and advertising from diet and fitness industries that are always telling us that they can help us get ready for summer. AKA have that perfect summer body to flaunt at the beach and make everyone's jaw drop and drool. And it just makes me think back to, I get very nostalgic about childhood because there was no such thing as getting ready for summer. You just were ready. But if this no longer affects you, we want to hear from you and learn from you. Teach us your ways. What helped you get there? Please, please share. But in the meantime, for the rest of us, this worry that we are never ready for summer and for our bathing suit actually impacts our experience of this beautiful season and all that it could offer if we would just say yes. But sometimes and often we say no instead. So post yes in the comments if you ever find yourself avoiding activities or experiences that you would love because of how you think you look. For example, do you ever say no to going to the beach, pool, or hot tub with friends because of how you think you look in your bathing suit? Because you're just not ready for whatever reason. You didn't lose that weight, you didn't shave those legs. Something is off and you're not ready to just go. And if you do, I invite you to explore this with me today, and maybe we change our mind about living like this. So in this video, in this live today, I'm going to share a creative expressive arts process to help you move past some of these limiting beliefs, or to kind of help you find an alternative about what you need to look like before you can finally enjoy life this summer. But first, for those of you who don't already know, I'm Darja, and I'm an expressive arts therapist, and I've worked with clients of all ages with the goal to improve their relationship with themselves. And in the last few years, I've also become more interested in how our feelings and thoughts about ourselves, which are also definitely shaped by family, society, the culture around us, how these impact our relationship with food, with our bodies as well, and with food, namely what we eat, how we eat, and why we eat. And together, Lisa and I have created a number of transforming relationships with food courses that are specifically designed to gear towards women who want to end their time in diet culture and catering to, the whims of the diet industry, and to stop living in shame and make the changes that they desire from a place of self-acceptance, love, and self-knowledge, as well as knowledge about health, rather than from a place of constant criticism and self-loathing and powerlessness. So in our lives, we really do our best to share insights that can help you move towards this place and shift your perspective about yourself to a more compassionate one. And that's what we'll be working on today. So thank you for joining me, and I invite you to comment live if you're watching this now, or replay if you are watching the recording at some later point. Now let's get started. So to start off, I'm going to share a quick little intro to expressive arts therapy. And after that, I'm going to walk you through a simple but powerful creative process that will allow you to explore and express through the arts how you would feel in your perfect summer. So first, let me introduce you a bit to expressive arts therapy. In my work, we use all of the different forms of art, such as drawing, movement, dance, writing, and music. And with these, I guide people to express their feelings and stories, uncover any blockages that live inside them, as well as inner strengths, and basically grow, heal, and feel more alive. So it's not just about feeling less bad, it's also about feeling more good. And my own life journey, which has involved a lot of trauma, has led me to connect to ways of healing that invite more imagination and playfulness into what can often feel like a really heavy and serious task, very daunting work. And I think when you make the pain emerge through the raw beauty of art, the raw honesty of art, it's just easier to face it and relate to it. And part of why I was drawn to expressive arts therapy is that therapy has traditionally been very verbal and focused on the left or rational side of the brain. However, the rational mind often fails to put our emotional life into words and can easily move us away from feelings and sensations and what's really going on inside. But inside is where a deeper and more authentic healing can take place, so that we're able to feel more connected to our true and authentic and healthy self, and more empowered to change our thoughts and perceptions and behaviors and experience of life from within. You know, there's kind of this embodied knowledge of what we need to do and where we need to go. Because, you know, being told what to do and knowing what to do on an intellectual level is rarely enough to make sustainable long-term transformation happen. And I think many of you can relate to this. We need to dig deeper and get to know ourselves. Only in this way do I believe that we can begin to understand why it's so hard for us to do what others tell us, or the things we know we ought to do this for better health. But for some reason we can't. And I think the answer lies inside of us. And this is important because I also tend to believe that our emotional weight is often at the core of our physical health problems and the difficulties we face in making the changes that we want. So we need to go there in our own time, at our own pace, when we're ready, but we do need to go within. I don't think there's any other way. And so the expressive arts provide that way in. This approach relies on the right side of the brain, often referred to as the emotional brain, and that one that has access to more unconscious material and our earlier childhood memories before, before the memory and processing parts of our brain fully developed and went online. And so the arts provide another language with which to express our stories and our innermost feelings and experiences when they're difficult to talk about or fully access with that conscious, rational mind. And through symbols and pictures and movement and play, we're able to kind of bypass the rational mind and express ourselves more authentically and even surprise ourselves with new insights. And it tends to also feel more safe because the arts act as a container. They provide some distance, you know, when you put it out there. And they're often playful and fun. And this is especially helpful when working with trauma, which is also often part of our struggles with food and our bodies. Not necessarily always, but I would say quite often. Anyway, I can go on and on about this, but for the sake of time, and I want to make sure we get to the activity, I will stop here. But if you do want to know more, please feel free to reach out, to comment with any questions, or to DM me. So today, I'm going to give you a little taste of how the expressive arts can be used. I should also emphasize that this requires absolutely no skill or talent. This is not about creating a work of art that you're going to sell on Etsy or a project or product to show off to other people. This is really about the process as well as the opportunity to deepen that relationship with yourself. And all you'll need is, as I've already mentioned, one piece of paper to draw on and some maybe markers or pens or crayons or pastels, my favorite. You'll also need a paper to write on. And finally, if possible, you'll need some space to move. So make sure to move anything that can be in your way. And of course, if you're not able to do this right now, you can always come back to this video and try later. I also encourage you, if it's possible, to have some privacy because this is your time. And again, no distractions or worries about looking weird in front of those eyes that might be around. So first, I invite you to place one piece of blank paper in front of you. So blank paper in front of you. And now take one of your two hands. Choose the one that you associate more with the energy of giving. Okay, so for me, that's my right hand for some reason. I guess because you do a lot of things if you're right-handed with your right hand, and I'm right-handed. And so place that giving hand on the page with your palm facing down, right? So you'll just put your paper down and place your hand on top. And from here on out, you can just listen to me. You don't need to watch because I'm going to guide you through the activity. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes or just keep a very kind of gentle gaze on the paper. You know yourself best. You know what works for you and what feels comfortable. So always listen to yourself first and me second, if at all. And now that you have your hand on your paper, I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths, just natural breaths, whatever pace you're at right now. And just take a couple more breaths, just going in if that's okay, or maybe feeling your feet on the ground. And slowly begin to tune into what your perfect summer day would be like. Now, I don't want you to imagine what your perfect body would be like in this vision, because we're not focusing on changing how you look in this vision. You're going to be exactly the way you are as you imagine this perfect summer day. I want you to focus on, your feelings and sensations on this day. So with your eyes closed, just kind of setting that intention of tuning in. And where would you be on this perfect summer day? Just be there and take some time to settle in to where you'd be. And tomorrow your answer might be different, but just go with the first thing that feels right for you in this moment. And what do you see? What's around you? Who is there? Or you might be alone. No right or wrong. And what do you smell? What are your smells of summer? It could be the salt from the ocean in the air, or smell of the barbecue, flowers, or sunscreen. And what do you taste? What does your perfect summer day taste like? And what do you hear? What sounds do you hear, even if it's the sound of silence? And just listen. And what do you feel underneath you? You may be sitting or laying down or standing, but what's underneath you? Is it water? Is it sand or grass or wood? Anything else? Can you feel it with your feet or your hands? Just take some time to really feel with all of your senses this perfect summer day. Now I invite you in your vision to do exactly what you wish you were doing on your perfect summer day. Are you dancing to music, running around, swimming, playing volleyball, or throwing a frisbee? Or maybe you're sitting at the nude beach naked, or maybe you're playing with your kids in a park, having a picnic, heading the barbecue. What are you doing? And if you're like me, you may get excited about doing more than one thing, so just skip around. Feel yourself doing exactly what you wish you could be doing. And ask yourself, who are you in this vision? What are you like? Imagine this is your absolute best, freest, happiest self. Who are you? And now, if it's comfortable, try to tune into the joy that you're feeling, or you may find another better word that describes what you're feeling, but I'm going to use joy, and if that doesn't resonate, go with whatever you're feeling. But tune into that joy that you're feeling as you see and smell and taste and hear and touch and do exactly the things that are part of your perfect summer day. How do you feel inside? Where do you feel it? Where do you feel it in your body? Just, you can do a little scan from top to bottom, bottom to top, and just locate, where is that feeling? And maybe it has a color. What color would that feeling be? And what size is it? Is it just a little speck, a little dot, or is it very expansive? Is it still, or is it moving? Does it have a shape? What temperature is it? Hot, cold, warm, cool? And what texture is your feeling? Is it smooth? Is it zigzaggy? Stay in this for a little bit longer if it feels okay. And just now give this energy that you're feeling to your blank piece of paper. So your hand is probably still on the paper. Let this joy or vitality or whatever it is for you move through your hand, your giving hand, onto the paper. And just feel it spreading down and covering and filling the whole page. And then I invite you to come back slowly and open your eyes. And now you can lift your hand off the page for some drawing time. So think about what you felt, the color, the shape, anything you remember, and put it on the page. So you can go to your whatever you're using to draw. Um, could be pastels, for example, or crayons. And you can choose one color or more. It's up to you. Your only task is to just do your best to represent that energy on the paper. And I suggest you take about 5 minutes for this at least. But I do see that we have a couple of viewers. So I'm just going to ask you to maybe put in the comments when you're done, and then I'll continue when you're done. But let's say about 5 minutes, but it could be sooner. And I'll just sit back and actually maybe I'll draw as well. Okay, beautiful. And Amy says that she's not drawing tonight, but did do the visualization and imagined what she draw, and that is beautiful. You know, you can also just adapt to how you're feeling or what you can do, what you want to do, and it's certainly fine to also imagine it. So now, just if you have drawn, sit back and look at your paper and take a couple of breaths and really listen. Is there anything else that the paper or your imagination wants you to add? Is there anything that it's missing and it's asking you to give? You know, like, hey, I just listen to the paper as it says, like, hey, you missed a part, or oh, can you add a little bit over here? This isn't feeling quite right. And if you are able to, give it. Okay? in a way, I kind of consider this um, strengthening that relationship with yourself as well, and also kind of attuning to like this page is saying something to me. And I want to hear, and that creates a relationship as well. It might be just another color, or it might be just like I want more of this. There's really no right or wrong. So just take a moment and check in if there's anything to add. And I actually did this just before the live, and so just to show you, this is no great piece of art. It was a very joyful experience. So, just for me, it's just very a vibrant feeling, a very joyful feeling, and even here, I feel that my body is just kind of blending into this joy. I don't even feel like there's boundaries between my body and just how much joy I'm feeling. And of course, there's a lot of sunshine to make up for the lack of sunshine so far in 2023 in my life. So that gives you a little idea. And so now that we're done, I invite you to place your other hand, which we'll call the receiving hand, on the drawing with your palm facing down. Okay, so just like that. And again, you can close your eyes if it's comfortable and just take a few breaths, maybe 4 or 5 breaths, with the intention of breathing this joyful energy into every part of your body, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers to the top of your head and everywhere in between. And as always, only if this feels comfortable. Never do anything that you don't want to do or that feels wrong for you. But if it feels comfortable, just let it fill you up. And it can even kind of extend out of you into the space around you, as far as you want it to go. If you want it to reach other people, other parts of your world. And just feeling kind of how far can this grow. And if it's just within your body, that's great too, or just a little part of your body. And as this energy moves into you, this joy or whatever beautiful feeling you experienced on your perfect summer day, I invite you to begin moving. You can start wherever you are right now, whether you are seated, laying down, or standing, and let this energy guide your movement. It can be very, very subtle or very energetic. It can be big or small. Again, no right or wrong, but ask your body for guidance. How do your hands want to move? If you look down at this drawing, how does it make your fingers want to move? Your wrists, your arms, your shoulders, your head, your waist, your butt, your hips, your legs, your feet. And just go with it for a minute or two. Nobody's watching, even though you're watching me. I'm not watching you. And you can stay where you are, or you can move around your space. And don't think about it. Just let the energy guide your body. And they can look silly and weird. But just give your body permission to feel this energy and enjoy it. And you can also check in and see if this makes you think of a song, maybe. Music and movement often go together. So if this happens, you can start singing, or you can actually play the song. You can just find it quickly on your phone or computer and just dance it out. And just take a few minutes and enjoy however your body chooses to move. And just enjoy this moment. And again, you can comment done when you feel you've had enough to let me know. Okay, Lisa is done. Amy's done. Wonderful. And of course, you can come back to that later too. But that is, remember that. Remember that. I'm not sure on this end how that experience was for you, but if you enjoyed, if your body enjoyed it, remember that. That can be kind of like a resource that you go to when those doubts creep in and those concerns. And find your way back to sitting if you were up and about. And now take that piece of paper that you can write on and write down 5 words that just come to you after this experience. They don't have to make sense or be directly connected. They can be anything, but just let them come to you and just receive them and write them down. You can also write them down on your drawing itself if you prefer, or on a separate piece of paper. Once you have your 5 words, again, let me know that you are finished. And if more come to you, that's okay. It's not a hard and fast rule. Lisa got them. And it's just a little list. Any words that come to you. And my final invitation to you as part of this is to set a timer. Well, you can, if you repeat this or if you're doing this on your own, set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes and just write. Okay? The only writing rule is that you have to somehow include those 5 words in your writing. So what you write is totally up to you. It can be a poem, a song, a little letter to yourself, or just good old journaling. And when you're finished, you'll just take a few breaths and reflect on the process. So I think I will leave you to do that on your own. So after the live, you can just make sure to come back to those 5 words right away when the live is done, and just give yourself 5 or 10 minutes or more if you need, and just write. So again, it can be a poem, a song, a letter, or just journaling. And when you're finished, breathe, and just think, how was this experience for me? And lastly, when you're done, we'd love for you to share your drawing and reflection with us, whether now or if you're watching the replay, and you can share it in the comments or through a DM or through email. We really would love to know how the experience was. Especially because no two people will experience this process in the same way, and the insights will differ for sure. Also love to know if you had any challenges, because I'm also always learning from you. Okay, but coming back to the purpose of this activity. So, the purpose was to help you move past that belief about what you need to look like before you can finally enjoy life this summer. Okay, through this activity, hopefully you were able to access some feeling of joy, and if not, you can come back to it, because sometimes when we come back to it, it comes to us. But hopefully you were able to access some little bit of joy or a lot of joy, regardless of what you look like and the so called imperfections that can get in the way of you doing what you want. So, if you could tap into some joy simply by using your imagination and creating something and connecting to your true, authentic inner self, then you can do the exact same thing on that summer day whenever it arrives. Or you can do it as you're thinking about, I really want to go, but my body isn't ready. You can tap into this and you can see that you can do it anyway. You can feel that joy regardless of your body. You just need to be yourself. And all of those eyes, that's what they'll be looking at, because the perfect summer body is a happy summer body. So we hope that you enjoyed this live. You can do this activity as many times as you like. Just pause the video to complete each step at your own pace and press play when you're ready and continue. Also, if you would like more help on this journey, consider taking part in our 3-part self-paced online workshop called Facing the Bully in Your Mind for $27, where we cover the top 3 mistakes you may have made when trying to change your diet, as well as how nutrition knowledge is a game changer for clients, coming back to that knowledge piece. Also, in this program, there are more expressive arts tools to move from negative self talk to positive dialogue with yourself that can really ripple out into your life. And also, in this webinar, you'll learn how to take the first steps in changing your diet or lifestyle. And the link to the course is in the comments. Lisa has just put it there. And please feel free to reach out if you'd like more information, or DM us and we will get back to you. So finally, drop a comment to let us know what you think of this live. How was your experience? Or to give feedback about anything that you wish. We really do love hearing from you. So thank you so much for joining, and hopefully you have some takeaways. Bye, everyone.